Okay, so welcome back. This is video number 5, and we are going to talk about platforms. Now, we talked a lot about the blueprint in the previous video, so I want to make this short, quick, and easy for you to just get through in the next 5 videos so that you can begin the implementation process. Now, platforms is a crucial thing to think about. If you think about a lot of the membership scripts nowadays, they actually have WordPress plugins or even non-WordPress plugins. So you really have to think about what is your main site going to be using. So I would say probably the majority of you are probably going to stick with WordPress just because the majority of themes out there is just basically made of WordPress. You have things like Optimized Press, you have things like InstaBuilder, you have other things like Thrive themes that are focused on WordPress, and it's just super easy to go to places like themeforest.net and get a WordPress platform, literally a theme, to get set up really fast. Now, some of you might decide, hey, I'm not going to be using WordPress, I'm going to be using plain HTML coding. Or you might be having an old system, an old site that you want to use. And realistically, some of you may not have WordPress. Some of you may not be starting from scratch, and you might already have a website that is built, that is getting sales, and you need to know how to integrate a membership script into it. So if that's the case, I'm going to make sure that I talk about 2 different scripts that we have tested over the last few years and found work for both platforms. All right, so right now what I want you to think is, which one are you going to use? If you're going to start from scratch, you might want to stick with WordPress. If you aren't and you are using HTML, you want to stick with non-WordPress. All right. Now, before I end this video, I want to show you where you can get themes that you can set up for your members area or even for your sales page. Now, if you go to a place that is themeforest.net, that's themeforest.net, and if you go over here, you will actually be able to find WordPress themes and HTML themes as well. So as you can see up at the top, you have the categories for WordPress right here, and you can just pick and choose depending on what area, what niche you are in. And then of course up at the top here, if you want to go the non-WordPress route, which is HTML, you can go under the HTML category here and find templates that would fit your niche. Now I will say WordPress is a lot easier to set up. All you have to do is install WordPress, get a theme, and it's literally newbie friendly. So for those of you who have the old HTML, most of you would probably be somewhat techy. So if that's the case, you should be able to find with no problem. All right. So with that said, let's move on to the next video, and we'll talk about pages that every single membership site must have. Hello and welcome to video number 6. We're going to talk about the required site pages. Now obviously these are pages that every single membership site should have, but it doesn't really limit you. You definitely can have more than that, but these pages should definitely help lower your refund rate. Not guaranteed necessarily, but in our test they have. So definitely the first page in this case would be the welcome page. So in addition to a welcome page, you might want to have a welcome video. And if you can't do this yourself, I'd recommend going on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, do a search for video spokesperson and look for somebody to do a video for you if you cannot do the video yourself. Now, this welcome page should have a welcome video, like I said, and it should welcome people. It should thank them for becoming a member. And more importantly, it should guide them through what they need to do next. A lot of times people join a membership site and they don't know what to do next. So then they get confused, they get frustrated, they get angry, and then they get a refund. And you don't want that. So that welcome video should walk them through all of your site pages. So typically you want to do this last when everything is said and done, so you can guide them through the process of how to use your site, how to use the modules, how to contact you if they need problems. And really the source of refund rates tend to be that, or of course, the next thing, being overwhelmed. So the next thing is you definitely want to have modules or categories. What I'd recommend that you do is split your site up so that it is consumable. What I mean by that is that you split your site up into bite-sized pieces so that people can consume it, they can learn it, but they're not going to get overwhelmed. So it's okay if you have more modules, as long as you break things up in a sequential or logical breakdown. It's going to help you in the long run. And then of course you want to have a contact page. Long time ago when we ran membership sites, a lot of times we would forget this page. And unfortunately, people would also do refunds because they could not contact us. So when it comes down to what help desk should you use, we have found there are two that are really good. We have tested Freshdesk. We really love that. But we also have heard really great things about Zendesk, which is very similar to those. And having a help desk is actually easier than responding via email, because then you have everything in a centralized location. You can log in every so hours and see it. And you can also outsource this and hire a customer support rep to actually do it for you. Then of course you definitely want to have some sort of training. And what I mean by training is it shows them how to use your product to the next level, how to use your product to the max, essentially. And the reason for that is because a lot of times people log into your membership site and they may not know how to use it, which is the welcome video. But in addition to that, they may not know how to use it beyond what you have given them. So giving them some extra training to help them take things to the next step is going to be crucial. And then of course, this is not required, but having a community, especially a Facebook group, is a definite plus. Now you could potentially use this as a upsell or a one-time offer. So you could charge a fee to get people into your door, like we showed you in the blueprint in video number 4. And then of course, have an upsell or a one-time offer and get people into your community. So having those things are definitely crucial for any membership site, no matter what niche that you are in. All right. So if you want to stick with that, that's fine. If you want to add to that and add different site pages that you feel like your audience and your niche will be able to relate to, go for it. All right. So with that said, let's move on to video number 7. Hello and welcome to video number 7. We are going to talk about the recommended scripts now that you have a blueprint in hand. So depending on if you're going to use WordPress or if you're not, this is going to kind of give you a guide to what the next step is. Now, keep in mind that we have actually tested these two scripts, and Member, for example, we have been using it for the last decade and a half. And the next script after that, which is a script that you will find on a site called Code Cannon, we have tested it in the last couple years and actually found this script to be actually more powerful than a lot of scripts that actually cost hundreds of dollars out there. All right, so let's show you what the scripts look like. So in my opinion, Member Pro is kind of the mother of all membership scripts. And the reason why I say that is because Member Pro has been around for a long time. They have been around for well over a decade. And when it comes to membership sites, they have developed a script that is so powerful. It is more powerful than a lot of scripts that I have seen. I like it because they are constantly updating their system. They have awesome support. And plus, in addition to that, if you have problems setting up your script, they will actually charge you only $80 to set things up. Plus, you can also contact them and you can say, hey, I want to do this and that to my site. and they will actually do it for you for a low fee. In fact, we've actually had them do custom programming for us to integrate it into a payment gateway that hasn't been available anywhere else, literally for less than a couple $100. So in addition to that, I want to show you this because I want you to know that their customer support is amazing. I have not ever really seen any customer support better than this, and they really go above and beyond. Now, A-Member Pro is really good if you want to run a digital membership site integrated into a forum. You can use it to do things like send opt-in newsletters via SMTP. You can run your own affiliate program, and you can do a lot within just this site. A lot of times with WordPress plugins, you buy a membership script and it allows you to do a good amount of things, but you have to buy extra things in order to do things like affiliate programs and add on other things that are not within the core plugin. So if you just kind of want an all-in-one, everything laid out, A-Member Pro is pretty much the best thing you will find. In fact, we use this on many of our sites. Very, very secure. You can lock down a lot of your digital goods, and you can be happy and feel safe and secure knowing that they are constantly updating their software. Now, of course, A-Member Pro does come with a price. Now, compared to what is out there, in my opinion, it's actually not too bad. There's no monthly fees. There is a fee if you want updates, but you don't have to have that. But you can do a lot of things. As you can see here, you have coupon codes. You can integrate literally into 200 payment systems. You can integrate it into PayPal. You can integrate it into Stripe. You can integrate it into tons and tons of payment systems, JVZoo, and you can do one-time products. You can do recurring products. You can do trials. This is pretty much the membership site owner's dream. Now, I will say, A-Member Pro is a little bit more complex to use. So it can integrate into things like WordPress, into Joomla, into all these different platforms, but it is a little bit more complex. So I will admit that. But like I said, they have one of the best customer support. So if you have problems, you can contact them. Now, keep in mind that their support operates in European time. So it is opposite of United States time. So just keep that in mind. But if you're willing to take a plunge, I would say this is, in my opinion, one of the best softwares. Now, A-Member Pro is actually better integrated into HTML sites, but it can integrate into WordPress. Now, is it as super user friendly? I think now it is. It wasn't back in the day, but it's actually very, very easy to integrate into basic HTML sites. So if you are choosing a non-WordPress platform, I would recommend A-Member Pro. Now, if you are using WordPress, then in this case, I would recommend a script called the Ultimate Membership Pro WordPress plugin. Now, do not be deceived by the price. It's $28, which is not a lot of money compared to a lot of WordPress membership scripts out there. So if you go to a site called codecannon.net, and do a search for the Ultimate Membership Pro, you will find this plugin right here. Now, if we take a look at the plugin, you will see that it actually offers a lot of features that you would normally have to pay for extra in other WordPress membership scripts. Now, we have actually time tested this, and we have found that this script can do a lot. You can do multiple levels. You can do free or paid memberships. You can restrict pages, which should be standard on all WordPress plugins. You can do multi-payments. You can accept PayPal, Stripe, and a lot of other things. You can do recurring payments. You can even do social logins, which means somebody doesn't have to create an account. They can simply use their Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn social login. And then, of course, you have menu protections, coupons, trials, drip feeding, which is what we talked about, content locking, email verification. You can restrict specific URLs. You can do custom fields, special fields. You can even do conditional logic, email marketing. There are many different marketing platforms that it will integrate into. You can do PayPal, you can do Stripe, you can do to checkout, authorize.net, bank transfer, Payza, and a lot more. So the list just continues and continues literally and goes on and on and on and on. Plus, I checked back a few months ago and they literally have added more features and have gotten it to integrate with WooCommerce. So that's another thing I like about this script is it is literally one of the scripts that a lot of WordPress companies will use, but a lot of other membership sites will actually use as well. And it is kind of hidden out there because it's in the Envato marketplace. So a lot of people just don't know about it. And I'm telling you now, for 28 bucks, most scripts actually nowadays cost at least $100 to a couple $100. So this script is actually very cheap, especially if you are on a budget. So I'm just showing you these two scripts are scripts that we have time tested and liked. There is another script for WordPress that is called Wishlist Member. We have tested this. It's, in my opinion, it's very, very powerful, but I feel like I get more bang for my buck with the Ultimate Membership Pro. All right. Hello and welcome to video number 8, and we're going to talk about setting up your membership site. Now, as I talked about in the previous video, we have two different scripts. We have Member Pro, which is a little bit more complex, and what I recommend that you do honestly is just to use their customer service and pay them the $80 to get it set up. And then if you want to learn how to use it, it's actually not super hard to do once it is set up. But I will say, like I said, their customer service is one of the best. So if you want them to tweak it however you wish, they will actually go in and do it. And you can go to places like Upwork.com, that is Upwork.com, and you can actually find programmers who are experienced in Member Pro because it has been out for well over a decade. All right. And then I'm going to show you how to set up the actual WordPress plugin, which is the Ultimate Membership Pro. So that's what this video and the next video is going to be about. It's going to be a thorough process about walking you through, showing you what to set up and how to go about doing that. So before I go ahead and show you how to set up the Ultimate Membership Pro, what I want to do is log into my Member Pro account and kind of show you around. So as you can see here, the nice thing about this is the membership site owner's dream. And literally you can go in and you can see there are other plugins here that you can add on to Member Pro, which allows you to do things like, sell credits. For example, you can have a marketplace where you have many different products and somebody could literally come in and buy a bunch of credits, and then they can use those credits to actually pick and choose what they want. So that's a nice feature to have. So pretty much everything that you can think of, even if something, if you want to sell something that might seem kind of very different and would require some sort of highly technical aspect, I'm pretty sure Member Pro would probably have it. Or if it doesn't, you can always contact their support. Now, I wanted to show you this, but you can actually see that I have used Member Pro about for 9 years. And since then, I have contacted their support, and every single time I've contacted their support, they have just been phenomenal. They've really been there to help me out. So even as somebody who is technical, sometimes we run into situations where we just can't resolve the issue. So I found that personally, Member Pro, a lot of times the response you will get is directly from the actual creator himself. And if not, you will get very highly trained programmers. And that's really what I like about Member Pro. So you really can't get lost. You can find people who know what they're talking about. You're not going to run into customer support people that don't really know what they're talking about. So that's the reason why I like Member Pro. It's very powerful, but very, very great customer support. So now let's talk about the Ultimate Membership Pro WordPress plugin. So after you go ahead and pay for it, which is 28 bucks, as of now, looks like there's a discount. Sometimes there's going to be a discounts. And even if it was $50 and it went the price raised, in my opinion, I feel like the amount of features that they're constantly adding to it is going to be very, very great for you. So what you need to do is simply click download all files and documentation. So it does come with documentation, which is great. So if you have any questions or run into any problems and things that I may not cover on this video, there is detailed documentation on there. And then of course you can contact the seller themselves. They offer support as well. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is installing WordPress. So in order to install WordPress, obviously you'll need to either do it yourself or get somebody else to do it for you. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to install WordPress. All right. So when you log into your web hosting panel, and most of you and the majority of you will have what we call cPanel. And if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, typically you will either find Fantastico or you will find a newer software application called Softaculous. So I would say the majority of you will still see Softaculous, and some of you will see the happy smiley face called Fantastico. Either way, all they are is they are basically software applications built in to cPanel, which allow you to install WordPress with less than 3 clicks of the button. All right. So I'm going to go through the process of using Fantastico here. So we're going to go to WordPress. We're going to click on new installation, and then of course we'll install it in a directory. Now, in this case, for you, most of you will be installing it on the domain itself. So you'll simply leave this blank. You'll enter the username and password that you want. You'll enter the site name and the description, and then you click on install WordPress. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so after I have installed WordPress, literally all you have to do is go to yourdomain.com/wp-admin. So yourdomain.com/wp-admin, or if you're like me and you install WordPress in a subfolder, it's going to be yourdomain.com/the subfolder name/wp-admin. All right, so now that you have done that, we have logged into the administrative panel, as we can see here. And now all we need to do is simply install the WordPress plugin. So I'm going to go ahead and locate the file that I went ahead and downloaded. And next, I am going to go ahead and unzip this. And next, as you can see here, there is a main files folder. So we're going to go into it. And then of course you see there is a documentation folder. If you click on the index.html file and you open that up in something like Chrome or your other internet browser, this basically allows you to get item support. If you ever run into problems, you can contact their support help desk, and you also have access to their knowledge base. Now, as you can see here, it's pretty simple, straightforward installation process. It tells you that the indeed-membership-pro.zip file is the WordPress plugin itself. So I'm going to show you how to install that in just a minute. Really, really easy. So if we go back over here, this is the plugin here. So now all I need to do is simply go over here. We're going to go back to the WordPress site right here. And I am going to go under plugins. So I'm going to go under install plugins. We're going to click on add new. We're going to click on upload, choose file. We're going to locate the file, as you can see here, click open, click install now. And sometimes that can take a few seconds depending on your internet connection and upload speed. And we click on activate plugin. And there we go. Now this says this is a trial version of Ultimate Membership Pro. So what we need to do now is we need to add our purchase code. So if we click that here, we're going to see purchase code. And they say in order to get your purchase code, basically, the way Envato and CodeCannon works is you go back to where you downloaded the file, you click on download, and then of course you click license certificate and purchase code. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. I'm going to get the purchase code and add that over here. All right, I'll do it right now. Okay, great. So now, as you can see here, it says you're activated the Ultimate Membership Pro plugin. So we are good to go. Great, awesome. So now we are good to go. Now, in order for you to see better, I'm going to collapse the menu so that we can push everything to the left. So up at the top, you can see the dashboard. So this allows you to see how many users you have, how many transactions you have, how many total amount of transactions you have. So basically, you're having access to the statistics every time you log in. Now, up at the top, we have Ultimate Affiliates. We have the ability to create levels. So I'm just going to give you a quick run through here. So as you can see, you have different levels. You have free levels, you have paid levels, you have recurring levels, and by default, the membership program is actually going to install a few for you. So you can actually see what a free level looks like, what a one-time plan looks like, what a recurring plan looks like. So you can obviously delete these if you don't want them, but they're there so that they can kind of give you a guideline there. And I'm going to give you a deeper run through later on, but for now, I just want to give you a quick overview of everything that is inside this particular membership plugin. And then we'll talk about, setup process and all that in the last video. So next we have payment services, and you have the ability to integrate with PayPal, Authorize.net, Stripe to checkout, bank transfer, Braintree, and Payza. Now, the majority of you would probably be integrating with PayPal and Stripe. So Stripe is very much like a credit card processing system, very much like Authorize.net or to checkout. Now, it's probably better if you do this or this, or to checkout you can do. They actually allow you to accept PayPal and credit cards as well. So in my opinion, I haven't really seen another membership script that integrates into so many services with such a low fee. All right, so the next thing is we have lockers, which basically gives you the ability to lock content. And then you have showcases, which is basically the front end forms. You can create register forms, login forms, and change the style and the template design. Subscription plan forms. We have account pages and member lists. So that's just showing how things look. And then of course you have social logins. So if you want people to have the ability to log in to your membership site via their Facebook social account, their Twitter, Google, LinkedIn, and all these other social services, then all you have to do is simply click on one of them and then integrate into Facebook, and that will allow them to do that. Basically, all this does is it makes it more user-friendly so that people don't have to remember their username and password. All they have to do is simply log in into their social login. Next, we have the coupons, which allows you to create coupons, and that's pretty self-explanatory. And then you have lock rules, so you can lock specific pages and posts depending on certain target users. And I'll show you more about that in just a minute. And then, of course, you have payment history, you have notifications. So you have basically email notifications, and you can customize the email templates however you wish. And it specifically tells you, okay, this email is going to the user, this email is going to you as the administrator. And then, of course, next we have magic features, which gives you the ability to add additional taxes, opt-in settings. You can integrate with WooCommerce, You can integrate with all these other things like Buddy Press, you have membership cards, you have invitation codes. There's a lot of really cool features that you can literally add to your membership script. And you have order invoices so that you can provide printable invoices for each order into the account page. So that's great for being compliant with other countries. And then of course, under general options, we have the ability to create default pages. So things like the registered page or subscription page or login or logout or user account page. So you have the ability to create these pages or connect them with existing pages. So as you can see, we click Save Changes here. And we go over to our Pages section. You can see that the script has automatically created so many different pages at your convenience. And that's pretty much it when it comes to a brief overview of what's inside of this system. So as you can see, there's a good amount of options and features and all that good stuff. But what I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to walk you through step by step to make sure that you understand how to use everything.